young man who is taken in by the U.S. after his home, another planet, is destroyed, and he ends up saving the country. Yes, I'm talking about Superman. Film columnist Jason Gorber is here to tell us all about this latest and controversial spin on this classic. Hey, Jason.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not calling it super woke, but the internet is terrible.
Some are.
Literally, there's a plot point in this film where you see a bunch of monkeys just writing nonsense on the internet. And so it's literally a plot point of this film that people will just say incredibly negative things just for the sake of saying, yeah. So the film...
Sorry. I was just going to say, can I just take a guess right off the top that you're a Superman fan? You've showed up here wearing a Superman T-shirt.
They give me a free shirt. I'm going to wear the shirt. It seemed like an apt thing to do. I'm actually... I mean, I grew up, obviously, with Christopher Reeve. Superman was one of the earliest films I saw. That film is actually really interesting, its connection to this. Obviously, the theme, the John Williams theme, is so... It's the one thing that sort of held this film in direct conversation, as it were, with the Christopher Reeve. This one has deep emotionality, but it's just so funny because all this discourse about, and yes, I'm using the word discourse, about Superman and his origin story. I mean, like literally, it's like
it's the story. That's
like,
the thing.
Like two Jews, one of them from Toronto, who took the Moses story and made a superhero story, and saw what would it be like if the nerdy guy who's wearing glasses, who's an immigrant into a new environment, is actually much more powerful than people actually had. That's fundamental to the Superman legacy. I understand that the comic book idiom has sort of stretched into this giant thing, but let's be clear about that. This has always been part of this lore. Also, this film, I mean, James Gunn, who a lot of people know from Guardians of the Galaxy, I first saw a million years ago. He did a film called Tromeo and Juliet, which I saw at Cannes in 96. But he was a schlock guy. He was a guy who did this amazing stuff with Lloyd Kaufman. He did a Midnight Madness film called Super, which is amazing, with Rainn Wilson, which is sort of an anti-superhero movie. He's always been playful with that. So he's somebody who comes with a deep love of this sort of genre, but also knows where to sort of push at its ridiculousness. And this film does that. We are reminded that Superman is an alien, which is why he's fighting a giant kaiju, a giant lizard thing. So there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of boisterousness with the film that I think really works. I understand that a lot of people online are very, especially in the right-wing media, are sort of pushing that it has an agenda or something like that. Its only agenda is to entertain and to remind that this story very much is about how people are not defined by where they come from, but the actions that they actually do, where they end up.
Okay. What about the love story part? What's the dynamic between Superman and Clark Kent and Lois Lane?
And so you have this David Cornsweet, who is a weird name, but very perfectly cast. He's very handsome. And Rachel Brosnahan, who a lot of people know from Ms. Maisel. And the dynamic is great because the film, it is not an origin story. We kind of already know. They're already in a relationship. They don't have to spend so much time. That dynamic is that. And their whole, whether or not he has magic glasses that suddenly turns into a different person when he puts on glasses. The film toys with all of that. So it just like the use of the theme song, it's a film that knows we're coming with a bunch of baggage, it knows that we're coming with certain expectations about Superman, and plays with it. It's just a fun, good, well-shot, visually interesting summer movie that has a little bit more intelligence behind it than a lot of summer blockbusters, but does so with such an iconic character. It has a lot riding on it. James Gunn's now in charge of the DC universe, how it fits into other stories. There's a dog. A lot of people like the dog, who's an incredibly obnoxious dog.
What? What's the dog thing?
There's Crypto, the super dog, It's literally, there's a super dog. But so all of these dynamics, and so people will want this film to be bigger than it is in the sense about how it fits into a greater sort of, just go. It's a fun film. It just reminds you that when you have a dude flying around and trying to save people, and then a bad guy who's like a billionaire who wants to destroy the world, which doesn't feel so sci-fi right now. It all sort of plays together. It's a fun film. It's good. It is. It looks great. I highly recommend you actually take a shot of it, whether you're a fan of the Zack Snyder one or the original Richard Lester.
Yeah, okay,
Donald.
So it's fun, it's good, go see it, fun time, blockbuster, whatever. But how does it compare? Because there's a lot of competition in the film land when it comes to this story. Like, it's been done so many times, we're still talking about the Christopher Reeve one. How does this one stack up compared to those? Is this going to be the defining take of Superman for a new generation? Is
No,
this
absolutely not.
Okay.
So they will always go back to Superman. Superman is one of those characters, like Batman, like many things, like Shakespearean characters that you just go back to over and over again. But I do think that this is a Superman for this year in the best of ways and the worst of ways. I definitely think that people should see it and not simply look at the sort of contemporary politics of it, but how it fits in with a greater legacy of storytelling and a greater legacy of this character. I think this is much more in tune. This is a film made by somebody who loves Superman, but also knows how to make a movie and not be slavish to fan expectation.
Okay, so is it the Superman for all time? Maybe not. Is it the Superman for this year? Yes. Jason, thank you so much.
May it fly.
Jason Gorber is Metro Morning's movie columnist and the editor-in-chief of ThatShelf.com.
ThatShelf.